The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and he missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck. Hello and welcome to Iowa Speedway for the season finale of a 2015 ASRS XFINITY series live on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hi, I'm Samuel Ryman, and alongside me is Tanner Sharp. Behind the scenes we have our director Joe Peak pushing all the buttons to get this broadcast up, and Dougie Beard providing our camera sets to get you the greatest experience possible of tonight's race. Tanner Michael Krobach will seal the championship simply by starting his engine tonight, which means not many people will be thinking about points in this finale, and instead, most drivers are just going to be thinking about the win, which is hard to get here at Iowa Speedway.
It certainly is, Sam, and Iowa Speedway is a 7/8 mile racetrack with 12 to 14 degree progressive banking. It's a bumpy track, unlike Richmond International Raceway. 100 laps tonight around this little short track, and 60% fuel cell is, from my understanding. So that's about 2 pit stops tonight. And plus also we have a fixed setup, so obviously there isn't anybody having a setup advantage tonight since everybody is running the same setup here at the Iowa Speedway.
And they all just finished a 30-minute practice session. We are getting set for a 5-minute qualifying session where each driver will have the track to themselves for 2 laps. But as we mentioned, this is the season finale and we have a championship going on right now. However, as we mentioned, Michael Krobach, you see in the number 7 machine right there, has pretty much sealed the deal as the number 7 machine disappears and they get ready for qualifying. You can see he has 30 points over Dan Murray, with each position being worth just 1 point. There's only 28 cars here tonight. So Dan Murray wouldn't even be able to do anything there. But you see the best battle for points right now is between Jim Foose and Bryce Whitson, just 1 point apart in the battle for third. And Alex Bates round out the top 5 after a relatively short season.
Oh, definitely, yes. I mean, those are the drivers I'm really going to focus on tonight, is because that's pretty much the race for the points tonight, is between Jim Foose and Bryce Whitson Jr. They're only separated by 1 point. Jim Foose is currently third right now, but those 2 drivers and Alex Bates, Brian Yatzik, and Justin Fuller, I'm going to be watching those guys duke it out tonight on this little short track of Iowa Speedway.
Yeah, and you see Jim Foose right there, and you just saw Bryce Whitson qualifying around the 0.875 mile circuit. And what's kind of racing are we going to see here tonight, Tanner? Because the progressive banking certainly throws these drivers a curveball.
Well, I keep saying Richmond because this track is pretty much a sister track to Richmond. This is a 7/8 mile racetrack, and everybody's going to try to get to the bottom on fresh tires. But the difference is between the 2 racetracks is the high side at Iowa Speedway is going to be the preferred lane because the tires are going to wear, the track is hot and slick, so exiting the corner is going to be really loose. So these guys are going to be battling a handling race car tonight on this little track. So try to get into your groove early and try to stay in your groove and stay in that lane.
Absolutely, and you saw Bryce Whitson just finishing up his qualifying lap there. We should be able to talk to him before the race starts. We will try and get that to you in a moment. You saw he was only able to make it 6th fastest. He has already been bumped down to 13th position. Alan Young currently sits on provisional pole, although there are still 3 minutes left of qualifying, so we'll wait to see who ends up on the top spot. That being said, there won't be any drivers going home tonight because there are only 28 drivers haven't shown up, so that should be your full Xfinity field of 28 cars here.
Man, 28 cars at Iowa Speedway. It's going to be a short track, duke 'em out. And what no better way to have a championship race, whatever points position you're in, what no better way to handle it on a short track.
Yeah, and as you can see the clock ticking up there in the top left of your screen, once it hits 5 minutes, qualifying will be over. Although that being said, qualifying might be over before it gets to the 5-minute point because the drivers should be finishing up their laps. And in fact, we have a new driver at the top of the field now. Brian Yatzik currently sits on at the top. But these times tonight, Tanner, seem very close. And yes, it's true, that's less than a mile track, so they should be. But the top, in fact, 27 cars right now who have turned a lap are all within a second of another.
Yeah, that just goes to show on how competitive this field is, especially on a short track like this. To me personally, I'm going to be looking forward to some competitive racing tonight. These guys are not off by no means. So if you're starting in the back tonight, I mean, don't worry. I mean, qualifying trim is usually always different than race trim. So, and plus you're running with a fixed setup too. But it just goes to show that this field is very competitive.
All right, let's see if we can talk to Bryce Whitson real quickly here. Bryce, have you got a moment for a word?
Yes, sir. Sam, how you doing today?
We're all right. We got 1 minute until qualifying finishes here. You're currently gridded up 15th on the grid, but I know after this race is over, you're looking at bigger things than that.
That's true, Sam. This year, the American Sim Racing Series has signed a couple of big sponsors to move into 2016, and next year we're going to have HPP Simulation as the title sponsor for both the XFINITY Series and the Truck Series, as well as Derek Spears Designs, True Power Motor Oil, and M-Spec Shift Lights, as well as Driven Designs on all the cars next year. So it's pretty exciting that we've moved up this coming season.
All right, we got 20 seconds left before the race. You're starting right in the middle of a field. What's your strategy for the start?
My strategy right now is just to survive, man. That track is slick out there, especially coming off the corners. So, get through the first 3 quarters of this thing and then go to it. So, thank you guys and look forward to a good race.
All right, Bryce, I will let you go and talk with the rest of your teammates right now. And it won't let me do that because of password stuff. But anyway, we'll read out the grid here for you. Alright, so lined up on pole position is going to be Brian Yatzik. Lined up alongside him will be Will Worstler, Alan Young and Alex Skies will be on row 2, and then Michael Krobach and Jamie Moore will be on the 3rd row.
In the 4th row, you got Jamie Moore and Robert Barney. In the 5th row, you got Jeffrey Gillihan and Jim Foose. In the 6th row, you got Jordan M. Harnish and Troy Hott. And in the 6th row, you have Austin Missler and Jared Haggerty.
Yes, and then on row 7 there, it looks like actually Jared Haggerty will be back on the 7th row alongside Alex Bates, and then we got Bryce Whitson and Norman Pelletier are on the 8th row. Steve Bahala and Ty Hester will round out row 9.
Kenny Rodriguez was roll out row 10 with Joe Johnson, and row 11 you got Scotty Williamson and Paul Davis. Row 12 you have Travis Brown and Sean Music, and row 13 you have Mark Myers and Daniel Vinning.
And then rounding out the field will be Daniel Glover and Todd Kirkwood, although Todd Kirkwood has actually disconnected from the session. So we will just have 27 cars taking the green flag, and you can see they have rolled off of pit road, and they were all within a second of another in qualifying. Now, since this track is shorter than a mile in length, they should have 2 pace laps, and Jared Haggerty, who had qualified in... Let's see, he had qualified in 13th position. He was not here for the drivers' meeting, so it looks like he is being sent to the back of a field for the start of a race.
Boy, that's a tough deal right there. But, I mean, you could play strategy, but in my opinion, every time there's a pit stop, if we do get a number of cautions today, I would go down pit road and get them 4 fresh tires, because them tires, they wear pretty quick, depending on how hard you're driving the car. But usually the tires, you'll notice starting the tires really wear after about 10 laps into a run.
And talking about laps, it will be a 100-lap race. That being said, there is an 80-minute time limit, which hopefully we shouldn't have to use, but if it does become a caution fest, it could go down to time. Hopefully that won't be the case. So 0.03 of a second was all that sat between your 2 front row drivers there. Brian Yatzik in the Napa number 9 on the inside, and Will Worstler, new name to me at the least, in the number 109 machine, starting on the high side. The Ford Mustang pace cars leading them through turns 3 and 4 for the final time before the green flag waves, and then Yatzik will have control of the field for 100 laps here at Iowa Speedway. They're coming off of turn 4 right now, the season finale. The green flag is in the air, and Yatzik leads them away.
Man, great jump by Brian Yatzik right there on the start of that race there. He's pulled out a pretty big lead at the moment right now. Some guys are for second place here are racing for side-by-side. Third place, ooh, almost contact between the 24 and the 109 car there for third. Let's see who those drivers are.
Yeah, that was Alan Young who started in third position, and he said, I want that high line coming off of turn 2. Cut Worsler off a little bit, and Worsler's going to try and take it back as they go down into turns 1 and 2 on the second lap.
Man, Worsler, man, oh, what a move he made. He actually bumped him coming off turn number 4 and got underneath him entering turns 1 and 2. Right now, it seems like guys are fighting for that middle lane, as we talked about earlier there, Sam.
But as they fight, Yatzik has already built up a huge lead over the rest of the field. In fact, in 2 laps, he already has over second lead on Alan Young, who has broke away. He is running in second on his own right now. Will Worsler qualified second, but he is falling back. He's on the outside of a 3 wide right now. He is down into 5th position, as there's your newly crowned champion on the low line, Michael Krobach.
Yeah, this is a great 3 wide battle here. Holy smokes. I'm surprised these guys are racing real hard, but hey, it's all good old-fashioned racing at Iowa Speedway.
Paul Davis is in his pit stall. Not entirely sure what the story is there because we're still green, but there is damage to the front of his machine. I can tell you that much as we continue to watch this battle. Right around just outside the top 5 it says we are riding on board the number 2 machine of Jim Foose, who remember is in the battle for third in the points for Bryce Whitson, but boy, it's getting crowded down the turns 1 and 2. Krobach slides up and Foose almost makes contact with Jordan Harnish, and there's a wreck behind them. Jeffrey Gilliam has spun around. There was several packs there coming off of a second turn, and Jeffrey Gilliam was involved in one of them, and there were a bunch of near wrecks, and that was the closest we got to having one. Unfortunately, I think it's just going to be an innocent spin here for Jeffrey. No one around him entering the turn. Did he lose it on his own, in fact?
Yeah, it looks like he lost it on his own coming off turn 2 there, Sam. And back on that Paul Davis, he did the same thing coming off turn number 2. So turn number 2 seems like a very slick spot tonight there, Sam.
Absolutely, and we ride on board Troy Haight, who was right behind Gilliam when this happened. Now, was Haight able to avoid the spinning number 61 machine? No, he wasn't. And so that's what kind of sealed the deal. That's what made Gilliam spin all the way around, was contact from the number 82 machine there of Troy Haight, who also went for a spin.
Oh man, that's just a very unfortunate for Troy Haight right there. I mean, he tried to check up, but it was just too little too late. I mean, at a short track like this, I mean, you're reacting so fast, sometimes you don't react quick enough, but yeah, just a self-spin, and that's very unfortunate for Troy Haight.
And into the pits comes the entire field. There's not a single car still on the track. Brian Yatzik led them in. Are we going to see anyone take 2 tyres? Brian's not. He's taken 4. But off of pit road, Michael Krobach wins the race. He must have taken 2.
It's a very interesting call. I mean, in my opinion, I would have taken 4, just because, in my opinion, the tires just wear a little more, especially at this track with being bumpy. But, yeah, definitely. I mean, he's got nothing to lose, Michael Krobach. So, I mean, heck, go out and try to win this race.
Bryce Whitson also took 2 tyres. He started in the middle of the field, the driver we were talking to before the green flag flew. So, he has used strategy to get himself up front. But will they be able to stay there? That is a big question.
That is a big question there, Sam. In my opinion, I'm not entirely sure. These guys are just such talented sim racing drivers. You know, I mean, they could stay up in front. I mean, I've seen Bryce Whitson stay up front with 2 tires before on other certain racetracks. So, I mean, if Bryce can do it, I mean, he can do it, definitely. But right now he's in a championship battle with Jim Foose for 3rd place. So, definitely a gamble call there.
Yes, but Jim has problems of his own. As you mentioned, those 2 are battling for 3rd in the points. Jim Foose was speeding on pit road. That means when the green flag flies, I think he's going to have to do a lap and then come into the pits to serve his penalty. Now, I can't remember if that's a drive-through or a stop-go, but either way, he may risk losing a lap around here, Tanner.
He may, but right now it might be looking like it's a tail end of the longest line. So, and if it is a tail end of the longest line, don't panic right now. It's still a long way to go to get up to the front. But if he has to go down under green flag, he's gonna at least lose at least 2 laps.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see what the ASRS determines should be Jim's penalty there. And you can see the top 2 cars getting double file, even though the pace car lights are still on. So for the restart, the race order will be Michael Krobach leading Bryce Whitson, Brian Yartzik and Scotty Williamson, who started in 21st, so he must have used a bit of strategy during the last round of pit stops. Robert Barney in 5th, Will Worslev has fallen to 6th, Alan Young has fell to 7th, and Alex Guys, Jordan Harnish and Travis Brown will round out the top 10.
I'll just go through the rest of the field here for you there, Sam. Jamie Moore is currently, or Austin Missler's in 11th. Jamie Moore is currently in P12. Ty Hester is currently in position 13. Alex Bates is in 14th. Steve Bahula, 15th. Daniel Vining is 16th. 17th is Norman Pelleter. The third is in 17th. Danny Glover is 18th. Troy Hott is 19th. And Jim Foose, who we just talked about the penalty earlier, is currently in position 20 on the racetrack.
And the pace car lights are off on our gold and blue Ford Mustang, leading them around turns 1 and 2 right now. Change in the ASRS rules midway through the season that the leader must always restart on the inside. It used to be that the leader could pick what lane they restarted on, but not anymore. Michael Krobach, therefore, will be forced to start from the inside, but if he gets a jump that Yartzik did at the start of a race, it won't matter. He should have the track all to himself by the time he gets into the first corner. Bryce Whitson in a similarly painted machine, and that's because they have the same sponsor on their machine up on the high line, but the pace car lights are back on.
I wonder what was the reasoning of that. Maybe a delayed yellow, or some guys trying to get lined up. That could be. There could be various reasons, but
there was a spinner. There was a spinner on the backstretch under the last lap. I think they all accordion down the backstretch, and Kenneth Rodriguez went for a little bit of a spin. I don't think he has too much damage on his machine, but that does mean this caution has been extended a little bit. Trying to watch him accordion here. This was about a lap ago, going down the backstretch, and maybe it's because one of the cars had disconnected. Jim was like, oh, where have they all gone? Actually, it may have started far ahead of Jim there, just caught the tail end, but that looks to be perhaps a reason that the caution was extended for an extra lap. But they're about to go green now. They're coming through turns 3 and 4. The Ford Mustang pace car about to make a hard left turn down into pit road, and Michael Krobach in the number 7 machine, this season's champion, leads them back away. We are racing again at Iowa Speedway.
pretty good restart there for Michael Krobach on 2 tires, but I'm gonna keep watching on those 2 guys with those 2 tires there to see if they are gonna fall back early or if they're gonna able to hang up front.
We got a spinner down on the apron. He slides back up on the track, and that brings the caution out. It's Austin Missler. Well, that'll help out the drivers on 2 tyres for a little bit longer. We'll see a replay. I saw him getting loose off of turn 2. He basically went all the way down to the inside wall on the apron, turned right to avoid from hitting the wall, and then slid back up onto the racetrack. I'm not sure if he did that all on his own or if he got a little bit of help from Ty Hester, I think that was behind him.
I actually think he might have accidentally hit the apron there, Sam. We all know that apron is very, very slick. If you hit that apron, you can definitely go for a spin there, but I don't think anybody made contact with him. I think he just got them left side tires, including that left front tire on the apron there, and just lost control of the race car.
We have had a second retirement from the race, Joe Johnson, which takes us down to 26 cars. But my question here, Tanner, is do these extra caution laps help or hurt the drivers who only took 2 tyres?
At the moment, it helps them. I mean, I know we have a long way to go. We're only about 13, 14 laps into this race out of 100, so it's kind of early to be gambling on the two-tire strategy. But, I mean, if we continue to have these cautions, that two-tire gamble may pay off.
Pit road was open last time by, but we only had a few takers at the back of the field. Austin Mislow, Kenneth Rodriguez, Troy Haight, Jim Foose and Trevor Taggerty. So we are going to take a quick break and we will be back for the restart, working our second caution here at Iowa Speedway. Hello and welcome back to Iowa Speedway, where we are working the second caution in the ASRS XFINITY Series finale here. I'm Samuel Ryman, alongside me is Tanner Sharp, and we have Joe Peak behind the scenes doing all our directing. And your current leader is Michael Krobach, who is lined up alongside Bryce Whitson at the front of the pack after a two-tyre pit stop. And it remains to be seen if they'll fall back through the field when we get the green flag here. We're currently working our second caution of the race. Our first caution came out when Jeffrey Gilliam spun out of the first turn, out of the second turn, and then our second caution was for Austin Mislow, who also spun off of turn 2. Very popular trouble spot early on in the going here, Tanner.
It is, and usually it's due to the slick racetrack. We are racing in the daytime here at Iowa Speedway, so with the sun beating down on the racetrack, it's going to make this track more slicker. From my readings right here, it's 109 degrees, so that's definitely slick. So these guys are going to have to take it easy on these restarts of the race, and just pace yourself. Don't get overconfident and try to race extremely hard, because you'll burn off them tires more quickly than 10 laps. So, but like I said before, I'm going to be keeping an eye on those two tire guys up there, and if we keep getting cautions like this, they will remain in the front. But if we somehow get a long green flag run, I think those tires are going to they'll probably fall back in the field. So, and Brian Yatsik might actually take it, because he seems like the strongest car on the racetrack right now.
There is an incident limit in this series. There are no free repairs, but there is an incident limit in this race of 17, and that basically means if you get caught in a crash, you get 4 incident points. If you spin, you get 2. If you run off in the grass, of which there is no grass around here really, you get 1 incident point. If it tallies up to 17, you get booted from the server. Hopefully that shouldn't be a trouble for these drivers though, because we usually get a long green flag run at some point. Maybe it'll be this one. Michael Krobach leads them away again. We are back racing here at Iowa Speedway, 17 laps in the books.
Boy, Michael Krobach got that nice big jump. It's pretty much the same jump as Brian Yatsik did at the start of the race. There, like I said, car in the wall.
Alex Guides did not turn in turn 1. I don't know if his steering wheel broke or something.
Oh, we have a car just sitting on the backstretch here. This might bring out the caution here, Sam.
Yeah, that is Alex Guides. I think he's got some hardware issues here, but there is no caution, and his car has now finally disappeared.
Man, tough break for Alex Guides right there. I was just wondering what was happening there. He just did not turn that coming off turn number 2.
Yeah, there's no blown tyres in iRacing. I think his steering wheel broke there. That's the wonders of online sim racing for you. But Michael Krobot continues to lead, but not for much longer on 4 fresh Goodyears. Here comes Brian Yartzik, and he's looking for P1 down the backstretch.
Maybe the 2 tires are not really paying off anymore, even though we didn't really have a long green flag run there, Sam. It's very close to the wall for Brian Yartzik, but yeah, those 2 tires, I don't know if they're starting to play, but who knows?
Well, we could just be seeing the fact that Brian Yartzik has been the fastest car in qualifying and the fastest car in practice. Maybe Krobot is just losing out to Yartzik here on pace. How far back will they fall? Because Bryce Whitson is still in third. The battle is on for fourth behind him. They're actually using 3 different lanes coming off turn 4. Will Worsler is ahead of Jordan Harnish and Alan Young.
Yeah, they're not really gaining any time on Bryce Whitson right there. They're pretty much even at the last time by across the start-finish line, so we're going to have to keep an eye on the times to see if they start really gaining on Bryce for third.
Caution! We got cars all in the muddle. Sean Music up in the wall, entering turn 3. Norman Pelletier also involved. He spun there at the bottom of a racetrack. Really, our first multi-car incident of a race is happening on lap 22. The run down towards the third turn. We're going to find out what happened here. Oh, happened far ahead of Norman. Was that the 12? No, that's Sean Music up high. And then you see Steve Behalin, the number 12, spun coming off of turn 2. And then the wreck kind of happened over in the third turn. Meanwhile, as we watch an onboard from Steve Bahala here, I'll tell you that Yartzik is leading the field down into the pits. We'll see their tyre changes momentarily. Oh, it looks like Bahala may have actually got a bit of help coming off a second turn there. You saw his car kind of jolt a little bit to the left and right. And there's Sean Music wrecking up high and Norman Pelletier wrecking down low. So, and we'll get another replay here, but Yartzik is leading the field into the pits. We'll let you know how many tyres he takes on his number 9 Napa machine. He's taking right sides, and Yartzik is going to take all 4 tyres again. As you see another replay of the incident there, and actually Travis Brown will win the race off of pit road on 2 tyres.
Yeah, back onto that incident, to me it just looks like he just lost it off turn 2. It seems like turn 2 is a real slick place today here at Iowa Speedway. Man, it's just so slick out there. The guys are just sliding around like it's on ice skates. It's just, wow.
Absolutely. Now, we had one driver stay out during that round of pit stops, and that is Kenneth Rodriguez, who I believe was involved in that chain reaction that extended our last caution by 1 lap. So he was pitting under the most recent caution. He doesn't have the fastest car, and he doesn't have the freshest tyres, but he does have track position in his favour right here now.
Yeah, it could be a good call. I mean, we didn't really have a green flag run yet in this race, so I mean, he's probably taking advantage. Maybe he understands that Bryce Whitson, who ran 3rd place up there for a while, and Michael Krobach, who gambled on them 2 tires. So maybe this is a strategy call: try to finish in the top 10 or possibly get a win today.
But Brian Yartzik will be restarting 3rd, and given the pace of that number 9 machine tonight, I don't think it will be too long before we see him back up out the front. But certainly an opportunity for Kenneth Rodriguez and Travis Brown to get a bit of clean air. And right behind Yartzik is Ty Hester, who has been running in the middle of the field today. I'm going to guess that number 68 machine only took 2 tyres on that last stop.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised some of these guys are taking 2 tires, but it just seems like right now with all these cautions we're having, track position is just going to be key. So with Ty Hester and I believe the 78 car, who's currently in the race at the moment, who was involved in that incident earlier, they're all taking track position because I think they understand that we're going to have a lot of cautions in this race since it's a short track. So why not gamble and why not try to win the race that way?
Now, Alex Guys, who retired for whatever reason after basically going straight on into the wall in turn 1, has lost connection to the server, so that takes us down to 25 cars, albeit some of those cars are a couple laps down with damage. One driver, though, who is still running up there in the top 10 after serving his penalty is Jim Foose. He was up there in the middle of pack during the last green flag run. I don't know if he took 2 tyres, but somehow he has been able to break into the top 10 under this caution, currently running in 9th position in the Cheez-It Toyota.
Man, it is amazing. I mean, we're only 26 laps into this race, and it's amazing how much can change just in a small amount of laps. Jim Foose actually, when they delayed that yellow, he actually got damage from that checkup, and he came down pit road to fix some of that damage. So somehow he's up in there in the top 10, but he ain't giving up without a fight.
So currently we have 23 cars circulating on track. Steve Bahala and Sean Music are in the pits getting repairs. Remember, no free repairs in the ASRS series. 22 cars still on the lead lap of those in the race. Paul Davis, Sean Music and Steve Bahala have fallen a couple laps down. The lights are off on the Ford Mustang pace car, and Kenneth Rodriguez on all tyres is going to lead them back to the green, and he started in 19th position, so not the fastest car here tonight, but let's see how much the clean air helps him, because off goes the pace car. Rodriguez has control of the field coming out of turn 4, but he doesn't really get the jump that we've seen so far tonight. I have a feeling Yatzik is going to challenge for the lead before they even get to turn 1. Rodriguez slides up.
Almost contact there, Sam. Battle for the lead, and Yatzik was definitely paying attention to Kenneth Rodriguez there for first place on that start of that restart there, Sam. Wow.
Travis Brown is holding his ground there on the high side, but I think he's battling in vain, although he will lead this lap. So he'll be credited for leading that lap, as Rodriguez has fallen all the way back to 6th after that contact. Brown holds on to the lead. Yatzik underneath him. That's Ty Hester in 3rd. And now Yatzik looks like he'll have the job done down the backstretch.
Boy, Kenneth Rodriguez just dropped like a rock. But, I mean, I tip my hat to Travis Brown there. He's fighting with Brian Yatzik for the lead and sticking with him. I tip my hat to him.
Well, if any of these drivers have a broadcast on, I have a feeling they're going to know not to take no tyres late on in the race. Not that many laps on Rodriguez's tyres, but as you say, he's dropping back like a rock. Brown was very slow off the exit of turn 2 there. Hester had to back out for that, and that moves Jordan Harnish up into the 2nd spot.
Oh, man, whatever happened there, he may have had to check up there, Sam.
Hester collides with Will Warsler. They were grinding up there in the high line on the front stretch, able to keep it pointing in the right direction. No, Hester spins. He tags Jamie Moore. There's Jim Foose has spun in front of him.
Wow.
I'm not quite sure what happened there. It looked like there were about 3 different crashes coming off of turn 2 at the same time. Honestly, I didn't even know Foose had gotten in front of these guys. But yeah, he spun on the exit there. Meanwhile, Ty Hester looked like he also spun.
Man, it seemed like Ty Hester coming off turn 2 got real loose and clipped the 20 car there of Jamie Moore. But wow, that was whew,
yeah,
I don't know what to say about that.
It looks like there were just 2 completely separate spins there. Jim Foose's went around and Ty Hester's almost ended up ugly. The reason Ty Hester was sliding in the first place was because of this damage down the front stretch, and that's how Jim Foose was able to get by that battle. There you see him going by, and watch the number 2 car just loses it coming off of turn 2 at the exact same time Ty Hester does and gets in the number 20 machine. Meanwhile, let's go back live though, because once again Yatzik is leading the field into the pits, but we have cars staying out on track again.
Definitely a gamble call, like we said before there, Sam. I mean, we keep getting cautions like this. Some guys are going to stay out and gamble, and then once we go back green, you might be fortunate enough to get a caution and still be the leader. So it's definitely track position call.
But Yatzik is so fast that he has taken 4 tyres every single stop, and because hardly anyone has been taken 2 tyres, he still has relatively good track position, and it looks like he's able to fight for the lead after every run. We had 4 drivers stay out: Michael Krobach, Robert Barney, Bryce Whitson and Troy Haight.
Yeah, I would do the same thing if I was in Brian Yatsek's shoes. I mean, you got one of the fastest cars on the racetrack, if not the fastest, and you know you can race clean with these guys and try to get around them. Brian Yatsek, every time I see him pass another car, he seems like he's patient about it. Unlike the last start, he made it 3 wide entering, but heck, I mean, he caught the leader. I mean, he went the same time as the leader did, and that's how he got underneath him. So Brian Yatsek's going to be the guy to beat today.
But he's dropped back to... He's actually back in 6th position right now, I believe. He's got 5 cars in front of him. Yeah, he's got 5 cars in front of him on track. Jordan Harnish is in 5th place on 2 tyres. But yeah, Brian Yatsek will restart 6th.
Yeah, the only thing I would be worried about, Sam, in Brian Yatsek's case is pitting down pit road and then a bunch of cars stayed out to where you're going to be back in about 12th or 15th place. That's probably the only worry I would have. But since Brian Yatsek's only in 6th place, I wouldn't worry all that much. As long as he's patient on the racetrack, you know you got them 4 tires. You know you have guys that stay out in front of you. Just be patient. We got a little ways to go yet. We're not even halfway yet, so I would just be patient and see what happens.
The pace car lights are still on now. The timer you see in the top left corner of your screen there began counting as soon as the session started, not when the green flag fell, so that is not what we're waiting to hit 80 minutes for if this were to become a timed race. That would have to hit about 85 minutes. But that being said, even though we've had 4 caution flags early on here, we're only a few minutes away from the halfway point, honestly, given the fact that green flag laps here only go about 30 seconds, so it looks like we should still be able to get all 100 laps in, because typically in an oval race you do see cautions towards the start and towards the end, but in the middle there usually is a long green flag run. Hopefully we're not too far away from it, although I don't know about all these cars up here on those old tyres, Tanner. It didn't work out for Rodriguez under the last run.
No, it didn't, and sometimes it does play with experience too. With Rodriguez, I believe he qualified like 20th, something like that, in the back there. But so he's not maybe not as experienced. I mean, he's an experienced driver, but maybe not as experienced as who's been in the series longer than others. So, but to really get information on tires, you really need a long green flag run to understand how 2 tires are going to hold up for a long run. But with all these cautions we're having, I mean, it's just pretty much gambling.
The Ford Mustang pace car lights are off, as you see on the screen there. Michael Krobach in a position that he was earlier in this race, where he led the field back to green under a couple of restarts earlier on old tyres, although granted he was on 2 right side tyres at the time. So let's see how the old tyres pay off for him here. That is Robert Barney in the Texaco Haviland Ford Mustang on the high side, the number 27 machine, and those two are getting ready to fight it out into first turn. Krobach will have control of the field, the pace car is off, Krobach is on the loud pedal, and we are restarting at the completion of lap 36.
Boy, Bryce Whitson was caught sleeping there for a second there. He had the number, trying to make up the car number, I think it was the 82 all over his back bumper of Troy Hott there. Yeah, you see Troy Haight there on screen. Jordan Harnish was also close to him there, but it is Krobach currently leading them out of turn 4 as they come around to complete the first lap back under the green flag. They're all clean so far, and Robert Barney has also retained 2nd place. But here, after restarting in 6th, Brian Yatsek is already back up into the 3rd position. Oh man, he is on the moves there, Sam. He just picked up 3 positions in 1 lap here at Iowa. It just, who knows? Maybe he just loves this racetrack so much. And very close to the wall there goes Yatsek underneath the 27 car of Robert Barney, going for 2nd.
Barney's still doing well to hold on in 3rd position right there, and you saw Bryce Whitson. Oh, but Barney gets loose down the backstretch and hits the wall, and he pulls out of a racing line so that Bryce Whitson doesn't run into him, and there's a car spinning behind. Travis Brown, hard up into the outside wall, but keeps pointing in the right direction.
Oh, another spin! 55 car there, Sam.
Scotty Williamson. Steve Bahala has also Steve Bahala was already in the pits. All happened off of turn 4 there, but we stay green. Now we don't. There's a caution being flown. Now that's because there's a wreck off of 2. Mark Myers has hit the wall. Let's continue playing this replay through. We'll see Scotty Williamson spins on the exit of 4 and doesn't hit anything. But as they come off of turn 2 here, Mark Myers, who we ride on board, and we'll wait and see if he had contact with another machine. Oh, there was a wreck in front of him. Number 45 was wrecking, and so he had to slide down to avoid him. That's Daniel Glover.
Yeah, Sam, it looks like he just got loose coming off turn 2 as we were talking all night. That's such a slick spot getting off that corner there tonight. And, man, very unfortunate for the guys who are self-spinning. It's just been crazy all over this racetrack tonight.
And of course, who this pays off for, assuming that everyone comes into the pits, is all those drivers who made that strategy call. Because now Krobok will lead them in, even though he was on old tyres, he was able to retain the top spot. But right behind him is Brian Yartzik. Obviously, the other drivers who took no tyres, who were able to retain their positions, also benefiting here, such as Bryce Whitson. Jordan Harnish comes into the pits in 4th. He took 2 tyres under the last pit stop.
Jim Foose stayed out there, Sam.
Which was curious, considering he was involved in one of the incidents there on that green flag run.
I would worry about the whole tire part on that spin, but I didn't think he collect any damage there, but he's just not giving up, Jim Foose. I tip my hat to Jim Foose. I mean, he had a speeding penalty. He's been involved in self-spins, and right now he stays out, and he's still trying to battle for a 3rd place spot in the championship with Bryce Whitson, and I tip my hat to Jim.
4 cars stayed out, but it looks like Norman Pelletier is actually going to come into the pits and get some tyres. But it seems that each time they come into the pit stall now, we're seeing more and more drivers, I think, take 4 tyres. Because Brian Yartzik won that race off of pit road there, and he's been taking 4 tyres all night long. For the drivers who want track position, the decision seems to be stay out.
Yeah, pretty much. And a lot of these guys, it seems like the way this race is going, we're going to have a lot of cautions. So if they can stay out like Jim Foose just did, and he gets another caution, and he could be still the leader when that caution comes out, that could pay off, and Jim could just take 4 tires just like everybody else and still maintain his track position.
So, Jim Foose, Ty Heston, Scotty Williamson stay out on old tyres. That means Yartzik will have to try and get by them on 4 fresh Goodyears. And you're talking about fighting drivers that started in the middle of the field again. Meanwhile, Michael Krobach's strategy call paid off well for him. He'll restart in 5th, as does Bryce Whitson in 6th. So all of a sudden, Foose, Heston and Williamson are hoping for basically what just happened under the last run. They ran about 5 laps or so, enough so that everyone burns off their tyres, and they're running in the top 5 when they all come into the pits again. Hopefully, obviously, we hope that it stays green a bit longer, but the rate things are going, it doesn't sound like a bad strategy.
Yeah, I mean, we're approximately getting about maybe 5 to 8 laps of a green flag run, so which isn't very much. As we talked about before, or during the broadcast earlier in this broadcast, that the tires seem to hold up after about 10 laps. But if you're driving it really hard, you know, they could wear a lot quicker. So right now, this is definitely a good strategy call from these guys, especially with all these cautions that have been flying.
And so, as we mentioned, that battle for 3rd in the points currently sees Jim Foose in leading this race, and Bryce Whitson in 6th. Although most likely that will change a lot before the end of this race, considering we're not even at the halfway point yet. Hopefully we are on time, but we aren't as far as mileage and laps go. Speaking of laps, they're just coming across the line to complete another one, and the Ford Mustang pace car lights are off. So, Foose will lead the field to the restart in 0.875 miles time.
Yeah, another driver I would be just a worry about. If you're trying to win this race, and I'm Jim Foose, the driver I'd be worried about is that number 9 car, Brian Yartzik. He's just been on it all night long. I mean, he's been taking 4 tires all night long, too, which has been helped out. He's maintained track position. The lowest I believe I've seen fallen was 6th place tonight. So right now he's going to restart 4th. So Brian Yartzik will be a guy to watch.
Yeah, not just for Jim Foose, but for pretty much the entire field. They need to know right now that that number 9 machine is the car to beat. And the Ford Mustang pace car is about to make the hard left turn and go down into the pits, leaving the field in control of a number 2 Cheez-It Toyota Camry. Jim Foose leads the field back to the restart. Here we go again at Iowa Speedway.
Very nice restart by Jim Foose entering turn 1 there. He has a pretty good gap over Ty Hester, and Ty's gained on him coming off turn 2 there, Sam.
He is, and Jim goes down low the block, so Ty can't do anything. Yartzik rim riding, running that all the way upstairs there in 3rd position. What kind of run does he get off the exit? Here he comes. He's coming down on the low side of Ty, and Jim is going to try and use up all the track and hold Yartzik off, but I don't know how long this fight will last.
Oh, man, almost contact between Ty Hester and Brian Yartzik there. Man, Yartzik's just on the move with them 4 tires.
That was the first time I have seen Yartzik make a mistake tonight. He basically got loose coming off of turn 2, and he is trying very hard and not succeeding in taking this 2nd position from Ty Hester. But Ty gets a great run on Foose entering turn 1, but I think he's overdrove it. He's walking up towards the wall, and here comes Krobach.
Krobach thought about going through the middle, coming off turn 2 there. They're 3 wide right now. Coming off turn 4 there, Sam. Wow.
Well, Foose knows that the only way to stop Yartzik from winning this race is to race him as hard as possible, and he did that, but it actually hurt Foose in the long run. He falls back to 4th spot. Hester currently leads the field. Yartzik has won the battle for 2nd over Krobach. How hard is Hester going to fight to try and keep this lead?
Bryce Winsett actually washed up the hill coming off turn 2 there, but he didn't hit the wall. He maintained his car, so right now he's running a couple positions back, and that's actually a position for championship or 3rd place championship there battle between the 2 drivers. For the lead.
Yep, here comes Yartzik underneath Hester. These 2 are holding each other up, and that's going to allow Krobach to close in on them. And as they come out of turn 4 here and cross the line, we'll hit the halfway point of this race.
Ty Hester's doing everything he can just to hold that lead and hoping that for that caution to come out, that he can be the leader when that caution comes out. But Yartzik is just not giving up on that bottom. I mean, he does have an advantage, though. He has 4 fresh tires, and I think Ty maybe just hit the wall there.
I don't think... Oh, and now he almost hits Yartzik there, though. He didn't hit the wall, but he got very loose coming off of turn 2. I think he spun the rear tyres, and that allows Yartzik to complete the move. But is Hester going to try and pass him? He can't. He can't go down low because Krobach is there.
Yeah, just only lost 1 position, but man, Ty Hester's just not giving up. He wants that track position for whenever that caution's going to come out. And this might be the longest green flag run that we've had tonight there, Sam.
The irony being that it's been the most aggressive racing we've had all race long, but they were able to keep it clean and green, at least so far. Hester is in 2nd, Krobach is in 3rd, and now the caution flies. Harnish is in 4th. I see Kenneth Rodriguez going slow off of turn 4. Yeah, it looks like he just lost it off of turn 4. He just spun, single car spin, brings out the yellow.
Yeah, definitely a single car spin. Some guys that are in the back of the pack here, I mean, sometimes they're just trying to see how hard they can drive, and sometimes they accidentally drive a little too hard. And especially getting out into that bottom of the racetrack here at Iowa, because usually the preferred lane here in Iowa is the middle lane. It's not as slick as the bottom. But, yeah, it's very unfortunate for Kenneth Rodriguez. Hopefully he can get back in this race and make up some more track position.
I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of cars in the pits right now, given that that was our longest green flag run of a race, and a lot of drivers taking 4 tyres. But there's going to be someone out there who's either going to stay out or take 2.
Oh yeah, we've seen it all race long. Guys taking 2 tires for pit strategy. Some guys in the far back taking 2 tires, or maybe even stay out too. But I wouldn't want to stay out. I mean, I think this was the longest green flag run that we had, and I really wouldn't want to stay out there. I would just come down and get some tires and hope that there's another early yellow. So, yeah, Brian Yartzik, Ty Hetzer, Michael Krobach, all down pit road here, Sam.
Absolutely, I see a couple of cars out there on the track still, but I think those are lap down cars who will pit next time by. Yartzik pulls into the first pit stall, the right sides go up. he'll probably take 4 tyres. He's done that all race long, but one driver took 2 tyres. Norman Pelletier is going to win the race off of pit road on 2 tyres. And then it is Yatzik leading Krobok, Harnish, Hester and Barney off of pit road. I think Barney may have taken 2 as well.
Yeah, that's a good. With that's a beneficiary of a first pit box of qualifying on the pole is try to get out as quickly as possible, and you can beat someone to the line a lot quicker because your pit box is right next to the pit exit. So track position, Brian Yatzik holding that all night, and the 56 car, I believe, did take 2 tires, so that's a good 2-tire gamble there. We have seen all night, so hopefully we can catch an early caution to where he can remain in the top 5.
That's not going to happen actually, because he just came down into pit road. I almost wonder if that means he missed his pit stall last time down the pits, because the number 56 is pitting. And there you see Mark Myers leading the field around behind the pace car, but he is a lap car and he is simply trying to take a wave around, which would put him back on the lead lap. He is currently on the tail end of a lead lap there.
Yeah, he'll more likely take a wave around, so unfortunately he won't be able to pit under a wave around without serving a penalty. So he probably would take a wave around on the 2 to go mark and go back around the racetrack to catch up with the pack.
And then hope for a quick caution, which has honestly been what we've seen a lot of tonight. The top 10, it looks like, at the restart is going to be Brian Yatzik leading Michael Krobok, Jordan Harnish, Robert Barney, Alan Young, Jim Foose, Will Worstler, Bryce Whitson, Jamie Moore and Alex Bates.
Yeah, and from 10th place to 20th place is Alex Bates, Austin Missler, Scotty Williamson, Daniel Vining, Jeffrey Gilliam, Kenneth Rodriguez, Norman Pelletier, and Ty Hester, Travis Brown, Jared Haggerty, and Paul Davis is the top 20.
Yeah, and the pace car lights are still on. They are currently working their way around the lap number 56 here.
Wonder what happened to Ty Hester there, Sam. I believe at the time of caution he was running in the 5th position. He's back there in 17th.
Yeah, not entirely sure what happened there. One thing's for sure though, if this race goes anything like what it has been tonight, we'll see him back up front.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It seems the best way to gain track position tonight is say, hey, I want to make track position, and it seems to be that simple under these round of stops. Now that doesn't guarantee you can keep it up there, but there's definitely, I mean, I'm curious to see what the lap chart looks like at the end of this race. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, definitely. And if we all thought that this race was exciting, that last run was exciting, just wait till the final 20 laps of this race.
Yeah, Jordan Harnish currently on screen there is actually restarting 3rd. Yatzik will be the one leading them back to the field. You can see that number 9 machine. I have a feeling that might be the first time he's actually, well, one of the first times he's led the field back to the green flag. We're used to seeing him up front, but not right after a restart. Let's wait and see how much he can check out on the rest of the field. Even though a quick caution will bring him back in with the rest of the field, he's going to hope that they stay green to the end, and he'll be able to check out on them here if it remains as it has been this first half of the race. Green flag is in the air, Yatzik gets the jump, Krobok is in 2nd and Harnish is in 3rd.
The biggest jump Yatzik had all night, but it's plenty to have the race lead, and he is clear of Michael Krobok, so he could probably just pay attention to his line, getting into that rhythm, and just probably run away with the lead like we have seen all night. But looking at the battle here between the 24, Alan Young, Jim Foose, it's a pretty good battle back here, Sam.
Absolutely it is. The top 4 are single file, but as you mentioned, this battle for 5th is the one that's on. Although Robert Barney is in front of him, and Young gets loose and spins.
Oh, man.
And another car. 2 cars spin behind him, Jared Haggerty and Travis Brown.
Oh, Jim Foose made slight contact with him. I don't think it's going to be enough contact. I think he's still able to run how he's running, but wow, that had to make Jim jump there.
Yeah, that could have been a lot worse for the driver of that number 2 car. Jan thinks it's all over, and then there's 2 drivers pointing backwards right next to him.
At the third place championship battle right there, Sam, Bryce Whitson and Jim Foose right next to each other. Bryce is sitting in 5th, Jim Foose is 6th, so I think pit road might be open this time.
If it is, the leaders aren't taking it.
Yeah, I mean, if the pit road was open that time by, and we haven't really ran a lap on the green, so I don't think anybody's going to pit at this point. Maybe some guys in the back of the pack may come down for 4 tires, but yeah, very scary moment for Jim there. I would be if I was him.
And of course, among those drivers pitting at the back of the field, there are drivers who have taken a wave around. That's the advantage. Take a wave around, hope for a quick caution. You're able to take 4 tyres and be back on the lead lap with 4 fresh good years like the rest of the field has. Brian Yarczyk will lead them back to the restart when we come back here momentarily on the GSRC. Hello and welcome back to our Speedway, where we are working our last lap under the 7th caution of the day. We had 3 different cars spinning off of turn 2 that brought this one out, which unfortunately has been the story of a lot of this race. Turn 2 definitely been a big trouble spot with the high track temperature here. The Ford Mustang pace car is about to pull off, and they will complete lap 65 and have 35 laps left to go. Brian Yarczyk, who has been the dominant car tonight, will lead the field back to the restart. Michael Krobach is on the outside. Green flag is back in the air, and we're racing again at our Speedway.
Big checkup with the 55 car there. Scotty Williams there, Sam, at the start of that.
Fortunately, all the cars still pointing in the right direction, but that means it could get a little wild coming off of turn 2 back there in the middle of the field. You see the top 5 are about single file. The first battle was really around here for 6th place with Will Worstler ahead of Jim Foose and Jamie Moore. We haven't really mentioned him a lot tonight.
No, we haven't. He's been up and down in the field all night there, Sam.
I'm sorry, Crowbot just got really loose out of turn 2, running in 2nd position. It costs him that position to harness.
Yeah, it's a very slick racetrack tonight, and these guys are just trying to take it easy, not get back in the gas too quick, so they don't come spinning off turn number 2. But I'm currently watching this battle back here for 8th position. Jim Foose seems like he's being under attack by the 22 car of Alex Bates and the 20 car of Jamie Moore.
Yeah, working their way through turns 3 and 4 right now. Now, do not underestimate turn 4. It can be a bit of a trouble spot as well. More losers outground on the battle between Foose in the number 2 and Bates in the number 22. A lot of 2s there. A battle for 5th going on in front of them between and around.
Oh, spinner! Alex Bates spin. Currently no caution. It's off the racing course, so that will not bring out a caution flag since it's not on the racing course there, but very unfortunate for Alex Bates.
And we'll get to see a replay of that. While that's going on, I'll tell you there has been a change for 2nd. Crowbot has gone back ahead of Harnish, and you'll see, well, like we've seen a lot tonight, a car just loses it off of turn 2. Fortunately though, this one did not bring the yellow out.
No, it did not. That's very unfortunate for Alex Bates, but he's still running. He's still going. He may have hit that inside wall pretty hard, but right now he's just begging on a caution. But meanwhile, I'm currently focusing on a 3rd place battle.
Norman Pelletier is in the grass. He's back on.
Yeah, he's taking the pathway there, Sam, on the front stretch here, just trying to get back on the racetrack safely.
And that proves that turn 4 is a bit of a trouble spot. I didn't see the incident myself, but I'm going to guess we're going to see basically what happened to Alex Bates, but just coming off of the other end of the track, and Pelletier does a bit of rallycrossing.
What happened to Bryce Whitson?
Yeah, whatever happened, we're still green, and he has dropped
he spun
back to 18th. Oh, he spun off of 2. And that didn't bring out a caution either.
Yeah, he spun off turn number 2 right in front of Jim Foose. So, wow. What a change of events for a 3rd place championship point there.
You gotta bet Jim was smiling watching that happen right in front of him.
Well, it does take the relief off of Jim's shoulders, that's for sure.
Yeah, because that moves him up into 6th position now. And all of a sudden, with all these incidents taking place off of a racing surface, we're getting a long green flag running here. I say that Travis Brown and Scotty Williamson were battling for 11th position there, and they both almost got in the outside wall over in turn 2. But fortunately for them, they didn't. Meanwhile, not missing anything up front, Yahtzee continues to lead, Crowbot 2nd, Harnish 3rd. The first battle is for 4th position.
Ooh, we got a spinner, Sam. I think the 70 made contact with another car again. Travis Brown.
Yep, but he was able to save it. Nice save by the number 17 machine. He's dropped back from... He started this lap in 11th, he's battling for 15th now alongside Kenneth Rodriguez, and Scotty Williamson and Norman Pelletier are down in the grass.
Man, action is just all over the place tonight here at Iowa. Wow.
Are we sure it's not raining?
I'm pretty sure.
There's not rain in the area here.
It just proves on how the dynamic tracks and the track temperature in iRacing can just affect races. It's just a very challenging thing when you come on this simulation, and it's just, wow. A lot of things just can happen.
Yeah, and apologies for the technical difficulties here. The numbers I think you're seeing in the bottom left of the screen aren't exactly representative of where the drivers are running. Meanwhile, we got a car spun off of turn 4, Daniel Vining. He also spun off of turn 2 and has damage to the front end of his machine, so I have a feeling that the number 99 machine has been in the wall.
Yeah, he has had some pretty significant damage on that 99 machine here. Yeah, just very unfortunate for these guys who are just losing it or trying to save it and they accidentally hit the wall. If they spit it and hit the inside wall, which is a lot worse because you can collect pretty significant damage from hitting that inside wall.
Yeah, there we're seeing the replay again here of him spinning off of turn 4, which was a solo spin. Probably due to the fact that he already had damage on the front end, the aerodynamics were thrown off a little bit. But we still green. And
yes,
they are coming to 20 to go next time by.
Oh yes, and 32 car, little loose. That is Jordan Harnish. But yeah, 20 to go, and right now.
Yeah, Jordan Harnish is actually running in 3rd position there. He is running behind Brian Yatzik and Michael Krobok. And Jared Haggerty doing a little bit of dirt tracking down the front stretch. Number 23 machine still going, comes back up on the track.
Yeah, he's got some heavy damage on that front nose of that race car there, of that number 23 machine there, Sam. Just, man, it's just so hard when you're racing on a slick short track like this. It's just so hard to get around and, you know, try not to burn off them tires. Because it just seems like the tire fall off is pretty quick here.
And someone who may have burned off his tyres a little bit too much is Yatzik, and Krobok in 2nd position has been eaten up at his lead. All of a sudden, this run has been long enough and there's been enough incidents that these leaders are having to deal with lap traffic. Could that bring Krobok back into the win of this race? And honestly, with the last round of pit stops really coming in at about 40 laps left to go, can these drivers make it to the end on fuel? I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure how much fuel each driver has at the moment. We know is it's a 60% fuel cell, so we estimate that could be about 2 pit stops, maybe more. So it could play in a big deal, but tires are going to be such a huge factor here. Because if you pit and everybody else stays out and try to gamble on fuel, you're going to blow by everybody.
Battle for 3rd is really heating up between Jordan Harnish, who was actually really slow off of turn 2 last time by, and Will Warsler. These two, I believe, were running side by side for this battle for 3rd not too long ago. And they're working their way through turns 1 and 2 right now. That's Jordan ahead, and the white car of Will Warsler is the one on his rear bumper. But yeah, but here comes the battle for the lead, although it's going to be bulked by lap traffic. Krobok would have had to run there, but he had to back out a little bit because of the amount of traffic in front of him. Two leaders just went by. Alex Bates and Jared Haggerty were racing for 60.
Right behind the leaders, the 22 and the 23 car there of Alex Bates. And I'm not quite sure in the 23, Harnish maybe, or Jared Haggerty. They actually made contact there, and the 23 just got a little loose, but no harm, no foul. We're still green.
Oh. Ty Hester hard into the wall. He just tangled with Jamie Moore as they were exiting turn 4. They keep it pointing in the right direction, but now the car's running in 9th and 10th have damage on them.
Yeah, he's still trying to fight for that car under control there, Sam, coming off turn number 2. Right now, it doesn't bring out a caution, but it's not the first time we've seen Ty Hester in some kind of incident tonight.
And now the leaders are coming to 11 laps left to go. iRacing does not have green-white checkers. If they have a caution flag with about 5 or 6 laps left, that will end it because the ASRS does not do 1-lap shootouts. They will do a 2-lap shootout if it comes down to it, but you'll have to have a caution flag with about 7 or 8 laps to go for that to happen. So that being said, Krobok may only have about 3 or 4 laps left to make his move, but now that they've broke free of lap traffic, Yatzik has pulled away a little bit.
Yatzik has, and it seems like everybody's starting to pull away from each other just a little bit themselves. From 3rd place, they're about 6 seconds back from 2nd place and 1st place right now, and Jordan Harnish is about a half a second ahead of Robert Barney there. Just some great racing all around.
Yeah, but the battle's still on for third. Harnish was racing hard once again with Will Warsler, and actually they almost got into each other coming off of turn 4. Warsler wins that battle, and Harnish almost loses it off of turn 2.
Wow, great save by Harnish there, man. I don't know how many guys can save that race car, but man, that was such a great save.
I think honestly, every time the cars came out of turn 2 pointing in the right direction tonight, it's been a save. Ty Hester's aerodynamics have gotten the better of him. He's been in the number 68 machine down pit road. But is that for damage, or could that... oh, he missed pit road, and there's a caution.
Oh, man.
And Jordan Harnish.
It is Jordan Harnish, and this is definitely going to change the... Oh, more spinning there, Sam.
That's Bryce Whitson. Now, is he still on the lead lap? Did he... Yeah, he's still on the lead lap. Now, it cost him a couple of spots, though.
It'll cost him a couple of spots, though, but, oh, man. This changes everything.
Everyone's going to come in the pits, and unless you're a gambling man, I would take 4 tires.
Oh, yeah. This was the longest green flag run of the night, and it seemed like tires were paying a big factor, so... Wherever you are on the racetrack now, that's the bed that's been made. So now just go down pit road and get some 4 tires and hope for the best. Ty Hester's got some heavy damage. He is smoking coming off turn number 2.
Yeah, that was really weird what happened to Ty. I wonder if he knew his engine was about to blow, and so that's why he was coming into pit, so it didn't. And then he missed pit road and then ended up blowing up on his way back around.
Jordan Harnish almost loses control of his race car entering pit road. Man, everywhere on this racetrack is slick.
We've had some cars stay out. Ty Hester is actually running again, but some of the lead lap cars have stayed out. Krobok takes 2 tires. Barney takes 2 tires. I think Yartzik might be too far back here to win this thing.
Oh man, yeah, some guys are gonna. That's crazy that these guys are gonna take a gamble here. Wow. Oh boy, this is gonna turn up for an exciting finish.
Warsler is gonna lead the field back to green. Yeah, Alan Young is in second. Jamie Moore is in third. Bryce Whitson, despite spinning, is going to restart 4th. Travis Brown will be in 5th. Then it will be Krobok in 6th. Barney in 7th. Yartzik is going to restart all the way back in 8th position.
Man, as crazy as that sounds for Bryce Whitson after that spin, he wants to finish 3rd because that's the highest he can finish in the point standings. Bryce Whitson wants to finish 3rd, and he is showing it right now. He'll do whatever it takes to finish 3rd in the standings over Jim Foose.
Yeah, Bryce is actually running in 4th position right here. Jim Foose is going to be restarting 10th, but with cleaner tyres. Now, obviously, all these drivers restarting at the front, they're going to be hoping for a wreck right when the green flag drops, and it had been 31 laps between our 7th and our 8th cautions, but given the way the race was going before caution number 7, I have a feeling these drivers at the front of the pack are going to get their wish here, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, with that long green flag run we just had there, Sam, it's definitely going to be an interesting play out. You never know if, because whatever, pretty much, since we're at the end of this race right here, whatever flag waves, like if the caution comes out, that ends the race. So, and iRacing doesn't do green-white checkers. So if the caution comes out, that ends the race, and whoever the leader, it could be Will Warsler there, could win this race. We just don't know until that green flag falls. And especially with those guys who stayed out, they're on old tires compared to the guys who just came out for fresh Goodyears.
Well, these 3 drivers leading the race right now, let's not count them out. Will Warsler qualified 2nd, Alan Young qualified 3rd, and Jamie Moore qualified 6th. Even though they're drivers who haven't really been running up front tonight, they have proven that they've had speed. However, they're not going to have any speed on this restart compared to the drivers at the back of the field. The problem is that time might be in their favour, because as you say, if a car spins off of turn 2 as soon as the green flag drops and the caution comes out, all those drivers on the new tyres are not going to have the time to run down these leaders, and the pace car lights are off. We will get the green flag with 3 laps left to go.
Yeah, man, that's such a tough call. But these guys that like Will Worsler, he's been pretty much in the top 10 all night. So I mean, he's taking a gamble that he's going to win this race and hope for the best. Now I'm trying to understand who's on the guy on most fresh tires. I believe it's Michael Krobach, but Brian Yatsik's been the lowest he's been all night long, and that's 8th place. So traffic may be key. And right now, when we go green flag here, if you're Brian Yatsik or Michael Krobach, you do not want to caution.
Absolutely not. Let's hope it goes green until the end, but let's not count on it, because our leader is actually blinking in and out with his connection right there. Pace car is off. 3 laps left to go. Worsler is on the loud pedal. We are racing here for the final 3 laps at our speedway. Worsler has the track all to himself. We're fanning out in this battle for second. Can they get through turns 1 and 2?
Oh, contact! That ends the race right there, Sam.
Jamie Moore spins around. He was tagged from behind by Travis Brown.
Oh man, that's just short track racing right there. The guys are just trying to make up every position they can in any way they can, even if it has to be down in turn 1. If you got to run on somebody, they're just doing everything possible to get a position on somebody.
Bryce Whitson will win the battle for 3rd in the points. He's ahead of Jim Foose on track by a few positions.
Wow.
And here you see the replay, the run down to the first corner. Jamie Moore in the number 20 machine. He just goes down low, thinks he has the track, and he didn't.
Yeah, that's just racing right there. I mean, you really can't point a finger at anybody for that. That's just short track racing. Guys going for the win, you know. I mean, stuff like that happens all the time, including in the reality world of NASCAR. So, yeah, very tough break for them guys. But wow, Will Worsler, I don't think I ever seen him in the ASRS before, as far as I've been when I was racing in this league. But man, great call by Will Worsler on staying on very old tires compared to everybody else. And oh man,
they are working the final lap here down the backstretch. Less than half a mile to go now for the number 109 machine. He started in 2nd. He was 5th fastest in practice. He didn't lead a whole lot of this race, but that doesn't matter. He won the battle with Jordan Harnish when Jordan spun to bring out the final caution. He stayed out under that caution while Krobach and Yatzik came into the pits when the caution flew on the restart. That's all he needed for the win here, and that's what Will Worsler is about to take as he crosses the finish line and wins here at Iowa Speedway.
well done, Will. That was well done, man. That was wow, great call. I'm almost speechless. I mean, with all the gambles we've done tonight, it just certainly has paid off.
And Worsler's going to bring it back around to the front stretch and burn it down for us, I'm sure. He'll probably get a couple of congratulatory bumps. Another driver who will also be celebrating is Michael Krobach, who came home in 3rd position and will win the championship. He'll probably burn it down for us as well. Bryce Whitson also probably happy. He finished in 4th place despite spinning. He didn't bring the final caution out, but he very well could have. And he beats Jim Foose across the line. Foose finished back there in 10th position. Congratulations to your winner, Will Worsler, though. And we'll get to talk to these aforementioned drivers after this quick break. Hello and welcome back to Iowa Speedway, where we just saw a crazy race here which played out with a bit of strategy, and at the end of the day it was Will Warsler who made the right call and came home with the win. Alan Young came home in second place under the caution flag, and in third place is your 2015 ASRS Xfinity Series champion, Michael Kobach. Third in the points will be Bryce Whitson after a fourth place finish here tonight, and Brian Yartzik not entirely pleased with the way the end of the race went. A bad strategy call there dropped him to fifth, along with a quick caution kind of sealed his fate. Robert Barney came home in a solid sixth position ahead of Austin Missler and Scotty Williamson, who was involved in a caution earlier on, as was Kenneth Rodriguez in ninth, and Jim Foose, who had a penalty earlier, rounded up the top 10.
In 11th place is Jeffrey Gilliam. Alex Bates, who spun earlier, comes away with a 12th place finish. Jared Haggerty finishes 13th. Jamie Moore finishes 14th. Travis Brown in number 70 car will round out 15th. Top 15 for him tonight. Very good. Daniel Vining will finish 16th, and the first car one lap down. Norman Pelletier, the third, finishes the first car one lap down. Paul Davis in 18th, Ty Hester in 19th, and Jordan Harnish will round out the top 20.
Yes, and then in 23rd position was Mark Myers. These are drivers who were out earlier on tonight. Troy Haight in 22nd, Daniel Glove in 23rd, Sean Music 24th, Steve Bahala 25th, Alex Guys 26th, Joe Johnson 27th, and Todd Kerwood did not start there in 28th position. But let's talk to the driver who has a right to be happy, and that is your 2015 ASRS Xfinity Series champion, Michael Kobach. Came home with a third place finish tonight. Congratulations, Michael.
Thanks very much, Samuel. It feels great to win the championship. We've had a really great season, and it was nice to bring it home tonight.
But I'm sure you would have also liked the race win. Unfortunately, the two-tire call at the end there didn't quite pay off.
You know, if it stayed green there, we would have had it. I wanted to get by Brian. I was running him down that long green run. That was a lot of fun chasing him down on the old tires, and I knew the only way for me to get around him there at the end would probably be to beat him on pit strategy. So we went with 2, he went with 4, and we lined up there 6th on the restart. And if those last 3 laps ran green, we would have won the race too.
But let's go back to the good news, and that's that you won the championship. Is that your first championship in the ASRS?
Yes, it is. It's been a long time coming. I've been running here for a few years and got some wins here and there, but first championship, and I'd definitely like to thank all the partners we have on the number 7 team, especially HPP and Mark Haggart. You know, he's stepped up to sponsor ASRS in the Grand National Series and the Truck Series in 2016, and you know, we want to put on a good show for HPP Simulation and all the great stuff that they put out there. Their PRX line of pedals are fantastic, and they're, you know, the best braking under pressure. And we wanted to, you know, debut those colors tonight and bring home the championship.
Well, it looks like we have a lot of drivers lined up in our ready for interview room here, so we're gonna let you go and celebrate, Michael. Congratulations on the season, congratulations on the championship, congratulations on the solid night here tonight at Iowa Speedway. You weren't able to get to victory lane, but hopefully we will see you back there next season.
Thanks, Sam, and I'd love to, you know, defend this championship in 2016, and got to thank Jim for putting on such a great series. ASRS has been around for over a decade now, and such a fun place to race, and we've got a bunch of good guys here, so looking forward to 2016.
So that was your 2015 Xfinity Series champion, Michael Kobach, who came home in third place tonight. The driver who finished one position ahead of him was Alan Young, and Tanner, you have caught up with Alan.
I have there, Sam, and Alan. Second place tonight, you qualified third. There is so much strategy going on the racetrack tonight, and everybody was obviously up and down in the field. But man, how did you ended up being in second place tonight on that? I mean, did you guess that you were going to go down pit road on that final pit stop, or did you just say, no, I'm staying out, I'm going for this thing?
I just kind of gambled and said I'm going to stay out because I had pitted the caution before that, so I figured why not give it a shot.
Yeah, and with the track conditions tonight, it just seemed like everybody was just sliding all over the place and spinning out. How bad was or how rough was that racetrack with the hot conditions on the racetrack tonight?
It was tough. If you hit the bumps wrong in 1 and 2 and tried to just gas it too much, you'd just loop it, which happened to me late in the race there, and I ended up overcoming it. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've hit them bumps plenty of times that washed me straight up the racetrack, and I lose control of the race car. But yeah, definitely a bumpy racetrack here tonight. Is there anything else you would like to make? Anything else you'd like to say tonight before we let you go?
Nope. I just want to thank the fans for watching, and thank Team O'Neill and my family and friends.
All right, well it was a good run for you there tonight. You've been competitive all night. Unfortunately, it's a second place finish, but it's still a good second place finish.
Yes.
All right, we'll take it to you there, Sam.
Yeah, and that was your second place finisher, Alan Young. Great to hear from him. We got plenty more interviews to go through here, and so let's go down to Victory Lane and catch up with the winner of today's race. And first of all, congratulations, Mr. Will Warsler.
Thank you, sir.
At what point did you think, hey, I've got this in the bag? Because with about 10 laps to go, it looked like you were going to finish third or fourth.
Well, I thought I'd have a chance to do good this race. I usually do good at Iowa. It's a fun track. This was the first time I'd ever raced it in the daylight, so the heat had the surface a lot more slick than usual. And I decided that I was going to stay out on that last stop just because everybody had been fighting for track position as hard as they had, and it just turned out that I come out first.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw you running up there throughout the whole race, and you were talking about the track conditions being difficult, but also, obviously, as a result, we had a lot of cautions that kind of made strategy a big factor in this race.
Oh yeah, I spent the first 60 or 70 laps of the race just trying not to be involved in a caution. I mean, they were coming out left and right, and I kept hearing people say that people were just snapping loose, and I was just trying not to be one of them.
Now, I've got to admit, as far as I'm concerned, you're a relatively new name to the ASRS. How many races have you done with them before?
This is my first race with the ASRS. I just signed up last week, and I'm planning on running their A-Car series coming up in February.
All right, well, we're good to hear that. You're not just going to be one and done and say, hey, I got a 100% winning rate right now.
Oh, no. I don't believe I'm going to be getting used to that anytime soon. That's just, this was my race this particular evening.
Well, we'll let you go and celebrate it, Mr. Will Warsler. Anything you'd like to say before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Jim and Bryce and everybody at ASRS for letting me be a part of this, and everybody that's helped me out at LCL Motorsports.
All right. Well, thank you for coming to talk to us, and we look forward to seeing you in the Cup Series next season.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
So, that was Will Warsler. He was the race winner today. Let's talk to a couple more of our drivers, including the driver who came home in fourth place, Mr. Bryce Whitson. And Tanner, you've caught up with him.
I sure did, Sam. And Bryce Whitson, you were fighting all night long for track position. You qualified 15th today, and you finished 4th. And your main focus was trying to race Jim Foose for that third place spot in the championship standings. Walk me through that championship battle between you guys.
Oh yeah, Tanner. It was definitely a heck of a battle there. I knew that I needed to get in front of Foose by one position. We already had some inklings that Dan Murray wasn't going to show up tonight, so that pretty much ensured us to be in second and third between the two of us. So, Jim and I were fighting hard, and I overdrove it there a couple times and lost it coming off the corner. But in the end, we did what we needed to do. Came home fourth in the race and came home second in the championship with my teammate Michael Crowbaugh. So, awesome night.
Indeed. I mean, a very good night for you guys. Michael Crowbaugh winning the championship, you getting third in the championship point standings there. And tell me about the track conditions tonight, because it seemed like every time there was a caution, someone would stay out or take two tires. Was it really hard to maintain the track position because you're trying to guess on what other drivers are going to do?
Yeah, track position was a little bit difficult. the hardest thing that we were running into was just the pure slickness of the track, especially coming off of 4 and coming off of 2. If you were down low coming off of 2 and tried to give it any gas, you were pretty much assured you were going to go around. So that was really messing us up. But, it was a good night overall. Like I say, I'm real proud of my team, real proud of my teammate. Glad to see him get his first championship here in ASRS, and hopefully there'll be more to come.
Yes, indeed. And we've seen it all night. These guys are trying to bomb the racetrack, and they would just look like they wouldn't get any grip and just slide all over the place. But, yeah, track conditions in that kind of condition can be very tricky. And, wow, it was a crazy race from the booth here. I can't imagine what it would be like in the cockpit, though.
Yeah, like I say, it was good. Tonight we have HPP simulation on both of the cars, on both Michael Crowball's and mine, and this is kind of our debut of having HPP simulation out here. They're also sponsoring the ASRS HPP simulation truck and Grand National Series next year, so we're excited to have them around, and it's looking like a good year and going to be a lot of fun for all of us.
Very indeed. I mean, it looks like a huge event coming up for all the series for 2016 for the ASRS series. So, is there anything else you would like to add or anything you'd like to comment tonight before we let you go there, Bryce?
Oh, I just want to say thank you to Mark Hargett at HPP Simulation. I also want to say thanks to Derek Spears with DSD, with True Power Motor Oil as well, with Steve Naples, and then Matt over at MSpec for stepping up, as well as Jim with Driven Design stepping up to take care of us in everything. So it'll be a good time.
Well, all right. That's Bryce Whitson Jr. There's Sam, who started 15th and finished 4th tonight.
Absolutely. We got 2 more drivers left to talk to, and for every driver who wins the points battle, there's also got to be one who comes a little bit short. But that being said, after the crazy night you had tonight, Jim, with the penalty and being right in the middle of a pack, I'm sure you're pretty pleased to walk away with a top 10 finish.
Yeah, really happy with the 10th place finish for the Cheez-It Toyota Camry team, but a little disappointed that we really should have probably been in the top 5, and the driver kind of cost us that one tonight. But oh well, got a box of Cheez-Its and ready to enjoy this holiday season, because Cheez-Its go very good with Christmas.
All right, good to know. Now, something else that's very good that we're looking forward to is the new sponsor deals the ASRS are going to have next season. What are we going to be looking forward to as far as the on-track racing goes? We're going to see any new drivers or new rules coming on board?
The rulebook should be finalized. I believe it'll be out before Christmas. If not, it'll be out before the new year. And nothing. I mean, we're not reinventing the wheel here, so not a whole lot of changes there. Maybe some minor changes, little things that probably won't make a difference to the outside people. But the drivers will notice a couple minor changes. Sponsorship-wise and driver-wise, I mean, HPP pedals is just phenomenal to have them on board, and DSD, MSpec, everybody that's come on board to help us out. We got quite a few new drivers. You saw a few of them on the track tonight that are signed up and ready to go for 2016, and a lot of shifting going on. A lot of new teams being formed. A lot of the independent guys coming together to build multi-car teams. Big manufacturer changes, especially with my team moving over to Toyota. We've actually gotten a couple other teams to move over with us, so should be pretty exciting.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing it. A crazy race here tonight with the high track temperatures, but you were able to bring that car home in one piece at the end of the day, even though at times I'm sure it looked like that wasn't going to be the case.
Yeah, it definitely was a handful, but I guess when it all comes down to it, to finish 10th, I got a cheesy grin on my face.
Yes, cheesy grin for the Cheez-It driver. Thanks for coming to talk to us, Jim, and have a great holiday season. We'll see you back next year.
Yep, thank you guys. Everybody have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you January 6th at Phoenix.
And that was our 10th place finish, Jim Foose. Let's go back a few more positions, though, our 13th place finisher, Jared Haggerty, who had to start from the back of the field after meeting the drivers' meet, and Tanaz caught up with him.
I have there Sam and Jared. You started 13th and you finished 13th tonight. Not the finishing position that you probably would hope for, but first off, I have to ask. I was trying to make out the paint scheme on your car because I would peek back at you every little while, and I was trying to make out the paint scheme on your car. Could you explain your paint scheme on the car for tonight?
Well, it's going to be my paint scheme for the remainder of this season and next season. But we're going to be rocking Madoka Magica, which is actually anime. Came out in 2011. It was only a 12-episode series, but it's known as one of the great modern animes of all time. So I'm proud to have them on board this year.
It was definitely a good-looking paint scheme. I was just trying to make it out to what it was, though. But tell me, it seemed like everybody was taking track position tonight, as we were talking about throughout this entire broadcast tonight. From your perspective, how was the track so challenging tonight?
But to be honest with you, I didn't really get a chance to view that. I got in a early caution there around lap 2, and really unfortunate for this car. I mean, this is one of my best tracks, and I really wasn't able to feel out and really run with those guys up there. But overall, get back where I started, it was a good run. Gotta thank Jim Foose and Bryce Woodson for putting on a great league again. All the guys down at Race Control doing a great job. Not quite sure yet what the future will hold for JR Motorsports and myself in the league, but I'm looking to go forward here, and hopefully we can work something out.
Yes, definitely. I've raced with you plenty of times back when I was racing the ASRS series, and I've always had some good battles with you. So I know you're a talented driver on the racetrack, and I was just about to ask you, do you have any plans for the 2016 season? And if so, what are they? But yeah, I look forward to seeing you more in the ASRS series, and hopefully you're able to capture a win or battle for a championship at some point. But great. Although it was a good run for you out there tonight, even though it's not what you hoped for, but I'm sure you'll get some good finishes in the future.
Yeah, thanks, Tanner, and thanks to everybody at GSRC for being so supportive. Y'all make the footage worth it every single time. I already look back a little bit, and I'll tell you what, the car looked good there on GSRC. And if I'm back next year, great. If not, it's been a pleasure serving y'all, and I wish y'all the best.
Yeah, it was great racing with you in the past there, Jared, and great watching you race here in the ASRS, and we hope to see you in the future.
Thank you, Tanner. Y'all have a great night.
Back to you, Sam.
Yeah, and it looks like we do have one more driver who has just came in the ready for interview room, and he is a driver who definitely has an interesting story tonight. Brian Yatzik, it took you a little while to get here, but I'm going to guess you had to cope to terms. You weren't in victory lane tonight.
Yeah, Sammy, that was, you know just as well as I do, or probably better than most. It's very often I don't have words to say, but I don't. So yeah, I had to calm down there a little bit, and just kind of run with it.
Yeah, when you saw how many cars stayed out under the final caution, did you regret coming into the pits?
Absolutely. 100%. I saw, I thought with 30 some laps on those tires, I thought a lot more guys were going to come on in. And when I saw one car stay out, and two, and then three, and then four, and, my heart just sunk. And I saw Michael take two. So coming out of pit road, it wasn't a whole lot of fun right there.
Absolutely, but hopefully we will see you back next season in a few races. I know you're also going to be doing some broadcasting with us, and maybe you'll get a couple more W's there.
That's the goal, yeah. I'm signed up for the HPP Grand National Series and the HPP Simulation Truck Series, so you guys are going to see a lot of me at this point. And then, yeah, going to be kind of stuck between my two passions right now, where it's talking to people about racing and actually racing. So so just thanks to Foose or Jim Foose ASRS, they've built up a really quality league. I would implore anybody out there listening, come on and join. It's a whole lot of fun. HPP for stepping up for next year and putting a whole lot of cool stuff out there. So 2016 is going to be a whole lot of fun in ASRS, and I'm glad that you guys are going to show it all to the world.
Absolutely, and we look forward to doing it. Well, commiserations that you weren't able to get the win tonight, Brian, but congratulations on making it to the finish in one piece, because we know a lot of drivers had difficulty on that slick track tonight.
Absolutely, that's what stings more. Is I only got squirrely once, and it's because I gassed it up too quick. So that car was hooked up.
And that was our 5th place finisher tonight, Brian Yartzik, even though he led most of the race tonight, and thanks to him for coming to talk to us. We would like to thank the organisers and the competitors in the ASRS XFINITY series for coming here tonight and putting on a great show. We would like to thank the makers of the various software and hardware that help make this stream possible: iRacing.com, Behringer, XSplit, Audio Technica and Dava Media. Thanks to the team today, Tanner Sharp, Joe Peak, and our camera guru, Dougie Beard. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can find it at www.globalsimracingchannel.com, along with archived races and upcoming broadcasts. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at facebook.com/globalsimracingchannel. We would like to send a special thank you to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde who provide us with our music. You can buy Eric's on iTunes and Spotify, and Casey's at caseylalonde.bandcamp.com. We have all of our upcoming races for our other series on screen, so be sure to check those out and mark them down on your calendar, and be sure not to miss another second of exciting racing action. However, that is it for ASRS for this season, so happy holidays to everyone out there and Happy New Year, although we hope to see you back for a broadcast before this year is out. But until then, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.